That progress has cooled off a bit across Illinois. We are seeing changes in positivity averages around the state level off, with 3 regions that were decreasing last week now sitting at a stable level. 2 others, Region 9, that's Lake and McHenry counties up on the border with Wisconsin, and Region 5, actually flipping from decreasing to increasing positivity. To offer credit where credit is due, Region 3, home to Springfield and Quincy, is the sole region to flip from an increasing positivity rate to a relatively stable rate in the same time period. Currently, we have 2 regions that are sitting above IDPH's 8% threshold, Regions 4 and 1. Region 1, home to Rockford, Dixon, and Galena, entered tightened mitigations on Saturday, October 3rd, and Region 4, the Metro East region, has unfortunately required heightened intervention since late August. After falling from a peak 7-day average positivity of over 10%, Metro East then leveled off between an average of 7 and 8% positivity for several weeks, and has recently dropped to a new low of 6.3% as of this morning. That's enormous progress. And if the region sustains an average below the 6.5% threshold, Region 4 could see a return to the looser mitigations enacted in most of the state as soon as Friday, perhaps. All of this takes place in a landscape where Illinois is continuously increasing our ability to test for and monitor this virus. We're now pushing an average of nearly 60,000 tests a day, and this morning we surpassed 6 million tests completed to date, less than 3 weeks after we were one of the first states to cross the 5 million benchmark. There is testing available to you if you need it. Whether you've potentially been in contact with a COVID-19 case, if you're feeling unwell, if you just want to check in, you're able to get a test, and you can get a test at no cost. With that, I want to briefly turn to the upcoming elections. As governor, by a combination of constitutional law and state statute, I don't control the State Board of Elections, nor should I. That said, I do have a duty to the citizens of this state to do 2 things. First, to do all that I can to ensure your constitutional right to vote is secure. And second, to do my best to ensure that you're able to vote safely. If you want to wait to vote on Election Day, that's your right. But I want to make sure everybody knows about all the things that we've done here in Illinois to ensure that you can vote safely and securely. And that includes expanding early in-person voting for those who want to avoid crowds on Election Day, and vote by mail opportunities for those who want to avoid the broader in-person risks of the pandemic. I'll start with early in-person voting. In Illinois, people have been voting early in person since September 24th, though that start date has varied by county. The city of Chicago, for example, started early voting at a central location on October 1st, and that will expand to all 50 wards in Chicago next Wednesday, October 14th. Check with your local election authority to see what options are available to you in your city and your county. I also signed legislation earlier this year to increase access to voting by mail in this election by making sure that all registered voters who cast a ballot during the 2018 general election, 2019 consolidated election, or the 2020 primary election had the vote by mail application mailed directly to their home address. A record number of registered voters have returned those applications. And if you want to vote by mail, you can apply online right now. You have until October 29th, but don't wait. The State Board of Elections recommends that you apply for your ballot by October 15th, if not sooner, so that your ballot can be delivered to you on time. In Illinois, your vote-by-mail ballot, which will arrive after you send in your application, needs to be postmarked by or on Election Day. But don't wait. The State Board of Elections is recommending that you mark your ballot and return it as soon as possible. In more than 50 of our 102 counties, you can also drop off your ballot postage-free at a secure collection site or a drop box instead of sending it through the mail to your local election authority. The legislation that I signed also designates the 2020 election as a state holiday, requiring the closure of local government offices, K-12 schools, and public universities, making it easier for people to take time to go and vote in person on November 3rd if they choose to do so. We also expanded early voting hours and worked with the State Board of Elections to dedicate $4 million to subsidize ballot drop boxes and increase pay for local election judges across the state. If you haven't registered to vote before, but you're eligible and interested, please make your voice heard. The last day to register online is October 18th, but you can register in person up to and on Election Day. That means you can go to any early voting location in the next few weeks and register and vote there if you'd prefer not to wait. If you want to register to vote right now, you can do it on your mobile phone. I'm going to give you the address, the website that you can go to, and that address is ova.elections.il.gov. Again, to register to vote right now online, go to ova.elections.il.gov, G-O-V. If you're wondering what you can do to help make sure voting is safe and secure and accessible for everyone, there are two easy ways to help your community. First, choose to vote early in person or to vote by mail to reduce the size of crowds at polling places on Election Day. That'll help everyone be able to keep their distance during this pandemic. Second, I encourage young and middle-aged people who are not immunocompromised to step up and volunteer as election judges in your communities, a role that your elderly neighbors have so often embraced as part of their civic service on Election Day. You can sign up to become an election judge by contacting your county or city clerk's office. And if you decide to vote on Election Day, November 3rd, I want to emphatically encourage everyone to wear your masks. Encourage others to wear their masks. Watch your distance and wash your hands. And we will all put public health first, of course. There will be fewer infections if you do these things. And that means fewer restrictions. And for all of us, that means a stronger and safer Illinois. So thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Ngozi Ezike.